Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. Thanks for stopping by. If you've already subscribed to our channel, thank you very much. If you haven't, please do. And when you do, be sure and tap on the little notification bell so you'll be notified every time we put up a new video. All is well. I hope all is well at your house. It's a little chilly right now. As you can see, I got two shirts on and I'm standing by a propane heater, and cameraman Mike is over there shivering. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Anyway, we've had the screwiest weather this year, but even though we've had screwy weather, I'm saying, well, I've been riding my bike a lot and I want to do a couple little things to it that I haven't done yet that I do periodically. For one thing, I'd like to change my oil, so I'm going to change my oil. Got a couple little leaks I'd like to address, and that's about it. So, without talking about it forever, I think I'll just kind of get started here. You know what? I'm going to take the seat off first.
Okay.
I already pulled the bolt out so as to not waste everybody's time.
Oh, nice.
I love that seat.
There it is.
Oh, you like that big cap? We're going to talk about that in a minute here. But the first thing I want to do here is to take this big drain plug out. Now you can see my really fancy homemade funnel.
Love it.
I sure do, because I get to throw it away. And next time I do this, I get to get a new one. Wow. Didn't realize I'd gorillaed that closed.
Yeah, you did.
Must have leaked or something. Well, as soon as we get that plug out of there, you'll notice I didn't pull the dipstick, and I didn't pull the big cap either. Let's see here.
And why is that?
Well, the reason is because I'd like it to run out a little bit slower. If I let all that air in, then the oil's going to come out and it might knock my classy funnel off of there and all that sort of thing.
Mike, go ahead and kill that, please.
Okay, let me do that. Okay. There we go. We turned the heater off.
Sorry.
Well, if that messes with the sound system, I'd much rather... We can heat this place back up again when we're done.
Yep.
That's fine. Okay, now most of the oil is out. And this gasket here looks just fine, so I don't know why I had it that tight. You can see the gasket on there. Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, I'm really fond of these oil tanks, and I've seen a lot of people change them to something that pleases them as far as the way it looks, and I understand that. What we do just for looks. But I'll tell you, having a dipstick right here, when they first came out with this tank, which was in 1965, when they came out with the Electroglide, is when they put this tank in because they raised the backbone of the frame to make room for the electric starter. The 58 to 64 panhead frames, which was the first ones with swing arms, all of this was lower because they didn't have a starter in there and they could keep the old horseshoe oil tank like the rigid frames had. Well, when they put this on, I mean, the guys that like custom stuff, of course, didn't like the looks of this. But gee, it's a 4-quart oil tank. It's got, I think in 1970, I think is when they put a dipstick in the side here. Then we didn't have to pull the seat to check it or add it or anything. Mm-hmm. What a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And I just love these oil tanks. And the other thing is, I like the internal oil filter. So we're going to pull that cap off of there. Now the earlier tanks like this, which would be the 65 to 69s, they had a dipstick, and you can see right here where it went. see that roll pin right in there? See it?
Yeah.
And the dipstick would hang off of that.
Oh.
In fact, I think I still got a couple of those around somewhere. But I like the dipstick in the side.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull this filter out of here. You can see it slowly drain. Maybe we can let it, oops, not good, not good. That's all right. Wipe it up.
You know the right?
No, I think I'm fine going just like that.
Okay.
Did I do that well?
I don't know. I don't see a mess, so I guess so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm very fond of that oil tank. Like I said, it's you know, the guys that wanted to build custom bikes, they wanted to eliminate stuff like this. With me, it's more what I want the motorcycle to do. And what I want it to do is be a great road bike.
Yep.
I mean, that's really nice on the road. I never have a problem with that on the road. Again, it holds a lot of oil. Fits there like it's made for it because it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let it sit here and run.
Battery box matches and everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, it takes quite a bit of doing when you put that stuff together. I've spent a lot of hours making everything fit well. But that's what it takes to make that really fit in there like that. And I mean, and they came out with a really nice paint job on it. I did this paint job. This one I did with a rattle can. And I'm very fond of that one.
Wow.
Yeah, run your finger across
Yeah,
it.
I can see it. Yeah.
That's a rattle can job, and I'm very pleased with it.
I mean, you got a reflection there and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty
Yeah, I
good.
get to look at myself. How cool. Okay. So let me go around to the other side. I'm going to let this sit here and drain because we're going to make use of that big hole in the top even more before we're done. Now, what I wanted to do, in fact, I think I'll do it right now, is I pulled the Tappet screen out of this when nobody was looking. And let me show that. This is the Tappet screen. I'm going to pull the plug back off of it. But there is the screen. And what I do is spray it with alcohol and then blow it out with the air hose. This thing is clean. Mm-hmm. The purpose of that screen is to keep the oil, to filter the oil so no little particles of weirdness go into your valve lifters. And so whenever you change your oil, it's a real good practice to change that.
Like a secondary filter, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just for the lifters. And when I say lifters, I mean your valve lifters, and they are hydraulic. In most cases, let's see, they started putting hydraulic lifters in panheads in 1953, and they used the same lifters in shovelheads, and they did them right up to 1980, and including 1984. And then with the Evolutions, they came out with a new set of lifters. Now this O-ring is fine. Everything is cool here. So what I'm going to do is there's a spring that goes on it. It goes right in there. And now this one, you can buy them with a hex head on them, this plug. Or cap, whatever. Yeah, I guess it's a plug.
Plug.
Anyway, you can buy them with a slot in them like the original was.
That spring pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, I'm having fun trying to get it in here. In fact, I'll probably quit speaking for a moment.
I'm just wondering why.
And I'll get that thing in there. And Yeah. Now, this is a chrome version of the original plug. Like I said, you can buy them with a hex head on them, or you can buy them like this with a slot in them. They even make them with an Allen head hole in them. But I like this slotted one. I kind of like using this screwdriver. This is what they call a drag link screwdriver, which is made for working on suspension in cars. But I bought it for doing these several hundred years ago. Now I'm going to tighten it down real good here. Okay. And that's absolutely lovely. So we got that done. But I noticed here that I was getting a little leak around here, which is real common. You know, I ride this thing for years and years and years and then wonder why it does something wrong. But it's not a big deal. So I thought I'd pull this one off and fix it real quick while I was doing the Tappet screen, which is...
And the oil draining.
Yeah, the oil's draining. I imagine it's pretty well drained out, but we'll get it all wiped nice and clean and get her done. Get her done. So what I need to do is have a quick look at this. There we go. So we'll take this and run it down like that.
So we're finally in May.
Yes, we are in May.
A lot of things coming up.
Well, you know, I start getting excited long around May because I always want to get everything taken care of and ready to disappear a lot during the summer. Yeah. I like pulling off my disappearing act. It's one of my most fun things to do.
Yeah, we got some
and of course
things happening and projects.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is that Born Free shows next month.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be fun.
I love that show.
I think everybody loves that show. It's just unbelievably cool. And we'll get to see a bunch of people that we get to see every year that we only see once. A lot of people we only see once a year, although...
We've got 2 new friends we need to meet up there.
Oh, well, there's a whole bunch of folks we get to see up there. And
hoping,
okay, let me show what I'm doing here, Mike. Would you come over here and... Okay, now I've taken both of these nuts loose. Okay, and now this is something that I do when I build these things. What I do is I drill this fitting all the way through so I can lift this up and out without pulling a cylinder head off. That's a very, very big deal. It doesn't sound like much, but it sure makes your life easier later on. Now, it's not leaking up at the top, it's leaking at the bottom. So we're going to check the top, make sure it's nice and secure, which I believe it is. Oh, yeah. And we're going to pull the bottom one out. And just make sure that it's got everything that I want on it. And then we'll put new rubber seals in this and put it back on. It was really neat when I went back to the parts room and started tearing the place apart looking for these seals. I found all kinds of goodies I forgot I had. So,
yay.
So it was kind of a neat thing.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And let's see. Here we go. All right.
Boy, that
It's doing it. It's doing it.
wind is howling out there.
Is it?
Boy.
Well, I'm sorry. Now, this one, we did not drill through. We didn't do anything to it, okay? The top one is the one you drill through. So you can take this tube and push it right up in there and pull it right back down
See down the center?
and have it seat into here.
There we go. Oh, okay.
But you drill that one through, the top one. Okay?
Okay.
Thought you needed to know that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this here and just clean everything off of it that might have on it. Well, look at that. Teflon tape coming off. That's good. All right. Then I think what we're going to do is put Teflon tape on the bottom of it. But what this line does, this is the one that goes up here and runs the oil to the rocker arms. Mm-hmm. And then they transfer over to each. There's a little line that goes between the two rocker boxes, but the rear rocker box feeds the tube that feeds the front one. And people say, well, I want to put double lines in there. I want to be sure it's got enough oil. Believe me, they get enough oil. Okay, and all you really need for those rocker arms running on those shafts, all you really need them to do is get wet with oil. That's all they really need. They don't need a bunch of pressure. They don't need a bunch of stuff. This is not an automotive engine. It's a Harley motor. And all that oil system needs to do is circulate well. That's it. And if it does that, then all is right with the world. So I'm going to put some tape on this real quick. Being careful not to get it over the end so that it plugs the oil system. Like that. There we go. And I think we'll do the same thing on this one, except we got to make it a little narrower. There we go. Now we'll take this and we'll make sure that it's not going over the end and closing off the oil flow. So I'm going to put this right back in now. There we go. And there it goes, nice and easy like. You know, it's a funny thing, but once you get used to it, you realize when you change your oil, maybe, just maybe, you want to spend most of your time on your bike changing oil that day. Because there's all these things that you get to look at.
Yeah.
You know, like a little leak here or there. Nothing to get excited about, just a little leak here or there, you know. And maybe you want to go over that. And, you know, maybe you've got a washable air cleaner element like this one. Now, if you look at it, you can see I cleaned it a few days ago, so I don't really need to. But
I was going to say, that thing is clean.
Well, yeah.
It looks damn near new.
I wouldn't say it's damn near new. I'd say it's been there.
It's yellow again. That's
Well,
that's pretty.
I clean it. I don't clean them exactly the way everyone recommends.
Yeah.
No, I clean them with dish soap in the kitchen sink. And I like them that way.
California, you didn't hear that.
Well, that's because I run my bike on peanut oil. And if you believe that, couldn't have been me or you, must have been two other guys.
Tree houses for sale.
No, I was going to sell you some nice rich river bottom land about 85, 90 miles west of here. Nice rich river bottom land. Okay. Let's see now. This thing's taking forever to get it tightened into place. Oh, I can feel it. It's tightening up. That's a pipe thread there, and it could be quite old. I have run these crankcases well over 400,000 miles now, so. Let's see here.
Sell some hats.
Pardon?
Buy a hat, please.
Excuse me?
Buy a hat.
I already have one, thank you, and I really like it
An
too.
embroidered hat.
Okay. All right, so now what we need to do is somewhere here, I have these little seals. And there's two of them there, so that's pretty good. And once we get them in place, we can close up that line and get on with the oil tank.
Can you hold out your hand when you see them?
I'm looking for an oil line here. Okay, now I can. Okay.
There they are. Oh, okay. Just
They're just little rubber seals.
cylinder, no specifically. Back on the other side.
Okay. Well, we have a problem here on one of them. One of them came right off, like that. The other one did not, which means I've got to get it out of there somehow. So I think, if you'll excuse me a moment, I will come over here and get an ice pick or something and get this thing out of here. Wait a minute, I have a good dental pick here. It's out. Okay, I just dug it out with a dental pick.
Pretty lines.
Pretty what?
Pretty oil lines.
Yeah, I like these a lot. So here I'm putting this on. And of course the rubber lube I'm using I make myself. And here we go. Okay.
You're dripping oil too.
Am I?
Yep.
Sorry about that. I want to get that on my nice rubber mats.
Oh, and your shirt.
Oh, my shirt. Oh, it's the same. Now I have two of them there. The matching stuff. Okay. So I'm going to push this one in there. And remember, I drilled that fitting all the way through up there on top. Maybe the other end.
Doesn't look like you're lined up very well, Mike.
I don't know, I can't see that well. I am having a little trouble with my eyesight, so I don't know why that's...
You're leaned over this way too much.
Which way?
Towards the back. Lean at the end. There you go, right there. It should
No.
be pretty close.
Yep, there it is. There it is. There we go. Okay, now we'll get it going up there a little further. And then we can set it in on the bottom. Excuse me. Okay. And there it is. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I forgot to put my glasses on.
That's it.
I mean, really. Okay, there's the bottom one. Now I wiggle them around and see how they fit best.
Make them happy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no stress. There we go. So we'll take that. Now you just keep pulling it down over and over again. And it'll just fit wonderfully. But I can remember before I thought about drilling these all the way through, that every time I put a set on, I was fighting with them. How do I bend this or flex it to get it in there? And
Don't you want to tighten up the bottom one first since it has a flange?
they're tight. There's no flange difference.
Well,
They're
stop on that
exactly.
one and you want it all the way in it, right?
Yeah, you just keep pushing it down. Okay, if you look down here, you'll see that's mostly all the way on.
Because if it tighten it, it'll pull itself.
Yeah, but if you look at it, you'll see
Okay.
it's held all the way down right now.
Awesome.
See, now if I go like that, nothing is happening. All we're doing is tightening this nut. See? It's a feel thing. Not everything is a right or wrong thing. You know?
I do now.
Because until these things get tight, the seal is not crushed. When these get tight, then that seal starts to crush.
I got it.
Okay, now you can see.
Yeah.
Okay? So now it's important to do the bottom one first.
Got it.
Okay?
I got ahead of myself. Sorry.
It's all right. Not a big deal.
I'll just hold the camera and be quiet.
You don't have to worry about quiet either. I can make enough noise for both of us here. Okay. So as soon as we get this one tightened down, then I can do what I was going to show on that oil tank. Okay. That one's nice and tight. And the position, you just want it, like we say, happy. That was weird. I was going backwards. That was you, huh? Our cameraman is dyslexic. And now I'm catching it from him. There we go.
Look out.
Okay, now this feels really nice. And I'm going for a ride in the mountains on Wednesday, so we'll just see whether or not it leaks. Okay. All right. Now that's finished, and I have a nice, clean, brand new shop rag. Now, you would think that I'd want to be real careful with that nice new shop rag. Where did I leave my flashlight? Over there? Yes, I did. So I'm going to look into that oil tank now and see what it looks like inside. Well, you know, it's not bad. but I really don't care. Watch closely. Now notice that my fingers never leave my hands.
I don't know what magic trick you were going to do.
Let's see, I thought I brought a screwdriver out here, a big long one. There it is. Now see, watch what I do with the rag. It's magic. There it goes. The rag is now inside of the oil tank. And this is really the biggest reason I'm so fond of these oil tanks. If I can mop it out. You know, when you've got you're working on an antique, and you're dealing with a horseshoe oil tank, and they are beautiful. I mean, they're one of the prettiest sculpted pieces Harley ever made. The only thing is, you got to get them clean. So you got to boil them out. You got to do whatever you got to do to them to get them clean. Now, if you could stick a rag in it every time you did it, every time you changed oil, if you could stick a rag in there and mop that thing out nice and clean,
somebody will invent one now.
Well, you know, they make them, aftermarket ones, with a filter screwing on the side of them, screwing right into them. And they're neat. But I know it's a utilitarian looking piece. It's not something that you look at as being really pretty, but when something works as well as this does, it makes it pretty to me. Okay, now everyone's saying, how's that fool going to get that rag out of there? That brand new shop rag that he just bought and threw away. Well, on the other side of my motorcycle, I have this pair of Pelicans, and I can reach in just like that and pull that rag out. Then I can take my flashlight, have a look in there. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. And I can even run around there again if I want to. But it's pretty nice. So I think I'll put the plug back in the tank, which is not too terribly hard. Am I in your way? I think what I ought to do, I had some white lithium here somewhere. There it is. I'm just going to put a little taste of that all the way around here on there, just for grins. Giggles, grins. You know. And that's pretty much it. So now all I need to do is pour some oil in it and put a filter on it, or filter in it, and I have a new filter to drop in. The old one I pulled out, and yeah, I have a new one here. This is a Perform. It's a good filter, I like it. And that's about it, okay? So other than that, let's see, I really wanted to say something that I promised I would. When we were at Born Free, Mike and I were at Born Free last year, we were walking across the grass there where we just pulled our bikes in and set them down, and we met this couple out there, and they were really, really fun. They were a Canadian husband and wife, really nice people. And they said, hey, when we have our big swap meet, would you advertise it for us? I said, well, I'll announce it on the channel. Now, understand something, please. I'm not getting paid for this. If I announce something or talk about it, it's because I want to, okay? And all I want to do is promote everybody having a good time. So here's what it is. If you got your pen or pencil ready, get ready now. Here it comes. Bike and car show, and they got food and beverages. Rolling Free motorcycle swap meet. Now, I'm going to say some of these things wrong, but I'm doing it to the best of my ability, so please don't laugh at me. Saskatoon Motorcycle Swap Meet 2024. It's the 3rd annual Saskatoon Motorcycle Swap Meet. That's Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Saskatchewan, Canada, and it's at the Sutherland Curling Club, 141 Jessup Avenue. And it's on May 25th, 2024. If I could possibly go to that, I would love to. These were some really fun people, and they were very excited about this swap meet and show they're putting it on. And here's the best part. If you'd like to text them for information, area code 306-291-4741. That's the Saskatoon Motorcycle Swap Meet in Saskatchewan. Do what? What do you want here? Oh, come on. This is my scribbling. This is no good. Okay. I copied that off an email that they sent me. Anyway, that's it. And I hope people get to go to that. I mean, you know, I always try to tell about the shows that are happening in Southern California because that's where I am. But
what do they make? They make what?
That's nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All right. Anyway, so that's it for now. The only thing I'd like to do other than that is tell you, by the way, if you'd like a t-shirt, here's our t-shirts that we have. All you have to do is get on onto our website, which is pacificmike.com, and you go to the upper right-hand corner where it says Shirt Store, and we have t-shirts, and we have a baseball cap, which is what's embroidered. Yeah, it's really, really a pretty job, too. But anyway, that's it for now. I think that pretty well covers it. And until next time, I'll see you out on the road.